The New Jersey Child Support Guidelines cover many extracurricular activity costs in New Jersey. The problem with that is the New Jersey Child Support Guidelines are pretty low when you look at it across the board. Most people, especially here in Bergen County, can't raise a child on child support alone, never mind cover the children's extracurricular activity expenses. If your agreement on child support is silent as to extracurricular activities, then we look at the child support guidelines appendix, and it has pages and pages of rules and explanations, and most of the routine extracurricular activities are actually covered by child support. However, in the vast majority of the cases I deal with, we agree that extracurricular activities are above and beyond the child support. So we kind of agree out of the appendix rules to the child support guidelines, and we state a percentage. So if dad is making $200,000 and mom is making $100,000 after taxes and after alimony, then we may say it's a 1/3, 2/3 contribution to such expenses. In some cases where the people get along and they agree on these extracurricular activities, we can just say they'll discuss and agree upon those activities and they'll pay their 1/3, 2/3, for example. In many other cases where it's a little more contentious, we actually spell out what activities are to be contributed to in what percentage, and maybe we even put caps on it so that each parent knows that they're not going to be asked to contribute more than they can afford. So the extracurricular activity expenses as it relates to child support is definitely a case-specific issue, and it is one that needs to be looked at in detail. And look, everything needs to be considered, because a lot of times people get divorced when their children are young, and then 7 years later, the children are much more involved in activities and the expenses are much higher. So these are things that need to be looked at with specificity and in detail. If you have any questions whatsoever about child support and extracurricular activity expenses, please contact us, because this is what we do every day, and we will look at your case in detail and come up with the right solution.